Hey guys, welcome back to some more reviews. I am Horrorboy425, aka Nate Murphy the Explorer 4 here. Welcome back to some more reviews, and today we're reviewing Land of the Dead. Now, Land of the Dead is a film from 2005, it's 6.2 on IMDb, co-directed by George A. Romero. George A. Romero is a great director. He's made Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Creepshow, The Crazies, which I haven't seen yet, but I have seen the remake of The Crazies, which was pretty good. I'm not a fan of George Romero's latest movies. Like, I'm not a fan of Diary of the Dead. I'm not a fan of Survival of the Dead. I think Survival of the Dead freaking sucked. But I would say this though, Land of the Dead's a pretty good movie. It's pretty good, and I would say that it's not one of my favorite George Romero movies, but I can say that it's honestly a pretty decent zombie movie. I can say that I have a little bit of fun with the movie, but is it like an amazing zombie movie? No. I just think it's a pretty decent zombie movie. Now, the bad thing about the movie is that I think it has some really bad CGI effects. There wasn't really much of the atmosphere. There wasn't really much the way that it was shot. I really didn't care for the score. But I will say this though, you had a good cast. You got Simon Baker playing Riley Denbo. You got I cannot butcher this guy's name, John Leguizamo playing Cholo Demora, who was in John Leguizamo's from Super Mario Brothers. He was also in he's been in a lot of movies. He's been in Gamer. He's been in a lot of movies. Like I said, but I remember him from Super Mario Brothers. Remember his cameo in Gamer. A lot of movies he's been in. But I thought he did a good job in this movie as Cholo. You got Dennis Hopper from Chainsaw 2. Rest in peace, Dennis Hopper did a good job playing. He played a good bad guy in this movie, Kaufman. And you've also got Asia Argento playing Slack. Asia Argento is the daughter of Dario Argento. You also got Robert Joy from the Hills Have Eyes remake playing Charlie in this movie. Really enjoyed his character. Also, Eugene Clark playing Big Daddy did a good job as well. I really enjoyed it's like the leader of the zombies, really cool zombie. And basically what this is about is, I remember on the House of the Dead, I believe it was the House of the Dead documentary, which I absolutely hate the House of the Dead, the movie, the first movie. Second movie was but the first movie was, complete garbage. But I do remember when I watched the documentary for House of the Dead, the movie, the first movie, I remember in that movie they were talking to George A. Romero, and they asked him what his next Dead movie was going to be. And he said, well, I'm not sure if it's going to be made yet, but, I want to make a movie basically about these people who are in this walled city, blocked off from the rest of the city, like the little part in the city. And, he talked about how the zombies are pretty much coming back to their land, taking back over this place, and that there's pretty much these rich and powerful people living in this place, and, zombies break back in, and he's pretty much talking about Land of the Dead. And in 2005, Land of the Dead came out. And basically what it's about is you've got the dead have taken over the world. It's pretty much, they're everywhere. Zombies are everywhere. And pretty much these humans live in this walled city. I think it was called Fiddler's Green. Now, I know there's a video game, which I heard was horrible, but, I'll give the video game a play one time, if I can find it anywhere. But I heard that the video game was pretty bad, but I'll give it a chance. But I do know that the game is called Road to Fiddler's Green. So I think that this place is called Fiddler's Green, but I'm not sure. But it's pretty much a place where, the rich people have power, and, the rich people are living in this building. They got a nice mall and stuff like that, nice clothes. And you got this guy, Kaufman, like Dennis Hopper. He's pretty much running this place. And you found out that he's sort of an evil guy. He's doing all these bad things. And he sends out these people, Simon Baker, John Leguizamo, and pretty much they go out and they go and, receive, like, they pretty much go out and get supplies and weapons for, the city. And you got these rich people sort of living in these nice houses and in these nice buildings, stuff like that. And you got these people sort of on the streets, struggling. They're homeless, trying to run Kaufman out of the building, trying to make sure they can get this city back. And, it's definitely a good contrast, showing how the rich have all this power, and the poor live on the streets and stuff like that. Um, and pretty much, while Simon Baker and John Leguizamo and all these people are out trying to receive some supplies, they end up shooting some zombies, and you got the Big Daddy zombie, Eugene Clark, who gets basically a huge group of zombies together. They go towards the city, and while they're doing that, Simon Baker and John Leguizamo, they're out looking for more supplies, and basically, towards the middle part of the movie, the zombies get to the city. And you get that great scene, which I love this scene, which is pretty much right here in this front cover, where the zombies all drop into the water, and then they slowly start to rise out of the water into the city. Really, really nice shot. But pretty much they get to the city. Simon Baker and Simon Baker finds out that they're going towards the city. I believe around this time, before Simon Baker goes back out to look for some more supplies, Asia Argento, Slack, is fighting sort of this cage match between these zombies. And of course, Simon Baker goes in there and, wondered about his car. His car's missing, so he talks to this guy, and the guy tells his henchman to shoot him. You got a little bit of a gun battle right there. You got Simon Baker shooting people and Slack fighting people and fighting zombies and stuff, and then they get locked up. That's when they end up getting out of the city and pretty much trying to figure out how to get some more supplies, stuff like that. Or I think they get out and they got to make sure they can get their way back to the actual main city. And that's what it is about Simon Baker and Asia Argento, and they meet another group of people, and they're going to try and get back to the city as soon as possible. And at the same time, you got these zombies going through the city. Practical effects too, where these zombies are just tearing guts out. They make their way through the defense. They go through this area where all the army men are at, and all the soldiers are at, and they're killing these soldiers. Practical effects too, and then the Simon Baker character and these other people, they make it to the base, but then everybody's dead. They find a couple of zombies there. That's when one of the guys is getting bit. At the same time, John Leguizamo tells the Simon Baker character, he's like, "Hey, I don't care about this city." He pretty much tells me he's gonna get some money and get the freak out of there. So John Leguizamo and his buddy, they end up leaving the area. And on their way of leaving the area, John Leguizamo gets bit. He tells the guy to keep going, gives him the money and everything, gives him the booze and stuff. And then John Leguizamo's character Trollo goes back to the city, go back to Fiddler's Green to go and confront Dennis Hopper, because Dennis Hopper, he finally screwed over this guy. He pretty much screwed over John Leguizamo. And John Leguizamo's going back to the city. I know if I sound like I'm butchering that name, I'm sorry. But he goes back to the city, trying to get some redemption for being screwed over by Dennis Hopper, because he found Dennis Hopper had this whole plan set up and stuff. And you got that funny scene where I believe where Dennis Hopper's running, and he just pulls out a gun and shoots one of his friends to distract the zombies or something like that. It was definitely like a holy crap scene. And pretty much zombies are going through the city, tearing people to pieces. Eventually they do get to the city, and just tearing people apart. See guts get ripped out, people getting fingers bit off, zombies biting people in the face. There's even a scene where the zombies get into the mall, and at that time start to pick up weapons, and the big daddy zombie gets a gun, and it picks up a drill, it's like a cement drill, and then zombies picking up knives and axes and machetes and stuff like that. And you also got a cameo by Tom Savini in this movie, playing pretty much the undead version of his character from Dawn of the Dead, which is pretty cool. And you've also got a cameo by, believe it or not, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. I forgot the names. But you also got a Simon Pegg and Nick Frost cameos as zombies. And it was because George Romero seen this movie, and he said, "Hey, I love this movie." I believe there's even a review on here from George Romero. Yeah, an absolute blast. George Romero, director of Dawn of the Dead. And George Romero loved this movie, thought they did a good job making this movie, and so he asked Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, they wanted cameos in Land of the Dead, and And there's even a scene here where you see Nick Frost and Simon Pegg as zombies. Some pretty cool cameos. And the zombies are going through, stabbing people, cutting to pieces, and pretty much the sort of military that Kaufman has built up, trying to fight them off. They get killed. There's even a scene where they get into the mall, and it was kind of like, you got like a Dawn of the Dead sort of thing going there, where they get into the mall, and they're just. There's even one girl who has like a piercing on her like belly button. The zombie just bites the piercing off and it just starts bleeding. It's really painful. And just whenever somebody gets bit, just a fountain of blood sprays and bites and people getting bit all over the place and people getting pulled to pieces. A very, very well done ending to the movie. And pretty much, Simon Baker and the people, they end up getting to the city finally. And you think it's going to be more of a bummer because they see that everybody's dead and torn to pieces. And at the same time, Kaufman, he's going down to the garage of this sort of mall place. And that's when the Cholo character ends up shooting the Kaufman character. And even before that, you got the Big Daddy character pouring gasoline into the car. And then it makes the Kaufman character get out of the car. And I like how even his driver just runs off into the mall, and then the Big Daddy zombie chase after him. And it's about also how the zombies are getting smarter. I believe this is the first movie where, I'm not sure if it was the first movie, but I like that inclusion in the movie where they found out the zombies are getting smarter. They're using weapons. They're using their brains. There's even a thing in the movie they use where it's like fireworks to distract the zombies, and they use them towards the end of the movie to distract the zombies, but it doesn't work. And it was just cool idea, made it different. The zombies are getting smarter, and pretty much Kaufman gets killed by the Cholo character, and the Cholo character ends up getting shot a couple times, and he dies. And Simon Baker, his character Riley, him and the other people. I believe you got Pretty Boy, Foxy, Number 9, Butcher. Not Butcher. Those are zombies, I think. Yeah, I know there's like a group of like these people who are also part of this other group of people, survivors, and that's when the Riley character gets up with these people, and him and Slack and these people go back to the city. That's what it is. My bad, guy, I made a mistake there. But pretty much they get to the city, people get torn to pieces, eaten up, and they think they failed. You think it's going to be one of those bummer endings, and then no, pretty much at the beginning of the movie, you get these people we're talking about, having sort of this, retaliation against Kaufman's sort of group, and they end up coming into the city and getting guns and blowing away zombies, and you find that not everybody died. There was some survivors. They pretty much join the Riley characters and the Slack character and the other characters. They join them. They drive off. There's even a scene where Riley, is asked, "Hey, do you want to kill these zombies?" Because you get this good shot of the zombies walking over here. And they even ask Riley, they're like, should we shoot the zombie? And he says no. And it makes you think it's because of Kaufman's corruption of the city, and sort of, Kaufman and these people, these evil people got their what was coming to them. They got eaten by zombies. And he goes, no, don't shoot them. They sort of just took up the bad guys in a way. And they drive off and the movie ends. I mean, it's a very straightforward movie. It's a very basic movie, but yet it's still a little bit different than other zombie movies. First of all, you got some good characters. I enjoyed Cholo, Riley, Slack. I thought that Asia Argent did a good job as Slack. I thought that Simon Baker did a good job as Riley Dimbo. And, I really enjoyed Eugene Clark. I enjoyed Robert Joy. I like how his character sort of like licks the aim on the gun and then shoots it. I enjoyed that. It made his character different. It gave him something memorable. And I enjoyed the acting, pretty decent acting. Enjoyed the characters. Really good practical effects. A lot of zombies eating people and tearing their guts out and stuff like that. Some funny scenes and include some really good humor. But there wasn't really much to the way that it was shot. And even though it is a little bit different, I mean, you do have the zombies getting smart and stuff like that, but it still was kind of like your basic zombie movie. I enjoyed Dennis Hopper playing a bad guy. Kaufman did a good job. And, it was just okay. I mean, I didn't really care for the score. The way the movie was shot wasn't really that impressive. I mean, it was just kind of a basic, movie. I didn't mind that shot where the zombies were rising out of the water, but besides that, it's pretty basic. But good practical effects, likable characters, good acting, good story behind it, and it was directed well by George A. Romero. But there wasn't really much the way that it was shot, though. The music wasn't really that memorable in the movie. I can't remember a song from the movie. And pretty fast paced, though. It was rated R, and this is the uncut version right here, so I got all the gore. And pretty gory movie, and it's pretty decent, pretty good. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching my review on Land of the Dead. This time it didn't go into complete chaos. But yeah, thanks for watching my review for Land of the Dead, and I'll see you guys on the next review. Thanks for watching episode 9 of The Week of the Dead, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.